All right, here we are for a sprint takeover of the article written by the oncoming shower, and this is Finder's Glen. So let's dig into this. Okay, so we have a couple. Let's see, demographics, governments, defense, infrastructure, history, geography. Good. Okay, founding date. Arsgoth, Kelson. Okay, and we do have a map. Okay, good. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Finder's Glen is a small camp settlement in the south of Cassia Forest. The settlement has no road connections to any other settlement, but they do trade often with Prosperity Bay. The camp is surrounded on all sides by forest and lays near a lake. Good. Finder's Glen is one of the youngest settlements in Arsgoth that was directly impacted by the Beacons of Hope, as they not only helped clear the previous site for them to move back into, but also helped them name their settlement Finder's Glen. Okay. That is one sentence. Okay. A paragraph should not be a sentence. It should, and you do have, again, okay, Finder's Glen was one of the youngest settlements in Arsgoth. Period. That was a complete thought. It was directly impacted by the Beacons of Hope as they, okay, it was directly impacted by the Beacons of Hope as they not only helped clear the previous site for them to move back into, but also helped them name their settlement Finder's Glen. Okay. Yeah, one sentence when I did. So I would, what you have here, let's turn on the pen. This right here is a second site. I'm not sure, because here you have one thought right here. Then you have the second thought here, and then you have a third thought. So I would just break those into three different sentences. So because if you can't read it in one breath, it's too long, especially for nonfiction. My opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But anyway, but it's good information that you have. I'm being picky on the presentation of the information, but I'm glad that you have that kind of information. And the hope, it would be cool if eventually this becomes either a link to another article, because the Beacons of Hope sounds pretty cool, and it sounds like something I would like to know more about. Yeah, and see, that's why I do very highly recommend reading your stuff out loud from the bottom to the top. Reading, you should read, because if you read it from top to bottom, you can get sucked into the narrative, sucked into the world that you're writing. But if you read it backwards, one sentence or at a time, you're less likely to get sucked into the narrative, and you can look at the sentence grammatically and for context more easily as a standalone thing. Okay. Demographics. Finder's Glen is made up of only gnomes and is the biggest gnome settlement in Arisgoth. They are friendly, open to visitors, and always willing to share their ideas, food, and camp with those that visit. They keep themselves in the forest, but many of them venture out to discover new places and things. Excellent. I see that you are not using the Oxford comma. I am a fan of the Oxford comma, and so, their ideas, foods, comma, and camp. The way that we do it at work, my day job, is that if it's complex ideas, we use the Oxford comma, but if it's one word, a trio, then you don't use the Oxford comma. So my coworker would not want to have that comma there, but here you have they are friendly, comma, open to visitors, comma, and always willing to share their. Okay, so you would have the Oxford comma for the first triplet, but you wouldn't use the Oxford comma in the triplet that's embedded in the third of the previous triplet. Okay, so so again, when you get into, I'm not saying to chop this sentence up because it is one idea, but just working on that, how to deal with the Oxford comma when dealing with the triplets of information. But okay, I might tighten up the first sentence. Finder's Glen is made up of only of gnomes, and the biggest gnome settlement in Arsgoth. I would just say Finder's Glen is the biggest gnome settlement in Arisgoth. Oh, or gnome, uh, and then just say no other, and then as a separate sentence immediately after, say no other peoples live there or something like that. Or like, yeah, just again, two ideas. There's only gnomes. It's the biggest gnome settlement. Finder's Glen is run on a gerontocracy by Kelston, and the largest majority run by the eldest. Great. And the large majority of the population support this. There are a few that disagree with this rule, and those that do not do tend to keep it as low grumbles to themselves than any active dissent. Okay. There are few that disagree with this rule, and those that do tend to keep it as low grumbles to themselves than any active dissent. Okay, again, there are few that disagree with the rules, period. Those that do tend to keep it as low grumbles to themselves than an active dissent. Not sure than active dissent. It reads fine. I don't know. It, as low grumbles to themselves than active dissent. Not sure. Okay. Finder's Glen is defended by the trees that surround it and the rangers that lay in the trees to keep predators at bay. Other than these, it is mostly open and quite easy to attack. So their defense is primarily against wild animals, not other humanoids, is what I'm getting from that. The infrastructure of Finder's Glen is based around survival and exploration. Their very being is focused on finding out as much as they can and make sure they can survive using what they do find. Great. Finder's Glen was actually originally just the community of gnomes and had no real settlement due to the previous settlement becoming uninhabitable. Get rid of actually. Finder's Glen was originally just was a community of gnomes and had no real settlement due to their previous settlement become uninhabitable. The beacons of hope helped clear the lake of a banshee that had settled there, allowing the gnomes to return to their half-built previous base and settle there once again. They also helped Kelston come up with the name for the settlement by merging his two choices into one. Okay. Oh wait, the Beacons of Hope is your adventuring party, right? So you have the word settlement here, the word settlement here. You have the word community here all in one sentence. It's good to have where you have community and settlement in the same sentence, that's okay. But having settlement twice in the same sentence, using the same word other than your tiny conjunction words in the same sentence, should be avoided for clarity's sake. Yeah, they had no real home due to their previous settlement becoming uninhabitable. Yeah, because a home is more than a building. A home is, the people who are in the house. That's my definition of it. Finder's Glen has an abundance of trees due to its position inside Cassia Forest, meaning they are never lacking in wood. Period. Good. Okay. They are also they also are settled near the lake inside of the forest, so they have easy access to fresh water at all times. They're good foragers, so they're able to make use of all the naturally growing produce within the forest. Okay, so this is some good information that you have here. They are foragers first and not, they're not farmers. They're foragers. Okay. But what about during winter? Do you have winter here? What happens when the foraging is unavailable or there's a famine or stuff like that? I would be interested. Great. Do they fish? They stockpile. Okay. Um, they have easy access to fresh water, but do they fish? And never lacking in wood. Okay. There's an abundance of trees due to its position inside Cassia Forest. They never lack wood. Great. They are all they. Switch that. Although they are settled near the edge of a lake, inside. No, inside the forest. And so, I don't like giving. Easy access to fresh water at all times. Yeah. But, yeah, so this is good information. It's not so much of geography, but their interaction with the geography. They stockpile like squirrels. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Anyway, that is a good article. Uh, Great information. Good article. Only nitpicking the grammar for clarity. But all in all, I think you have some good things here and a good breadth for understanding it. So, well done.